I can't be the only one. Went to the Games Workshop webpage, pick up a few of the new things, and they ended up with a ton of new stuff. So, hello and welcome to Your Average Bear Gaming. I'm George. Bought a bunch of the new releases for the Aeldari, I guess. So I thought I'd do a quick unboxing of all these new units to see what's inside, take pictures of the sprues, so you can make a better decision about whether you want to pick these up or not. It's been a long time since I bought anything Eldar. It was my first army 20 years ago, and I haven't touched them since, so I'm looking forward to this. Join me, will you? So, let's start right here. I bought some Ynnari. I had never seen these before, but I thought this guy looked pretty cool. Let's take a look and see what's inside. So for starters, as usual, you have the instruction pamphlet. I didn't leave it, I left it in the blister pack because I want to use this as storage until I actually get to painting this guy. And here is the sprue. Yeah, this one looks pretty straightforward. It's kind of what you see is what you get. There's one cloak. It's got like a fur trim. It's big, like all heroes of the 41st millennium. They wear big little cloaks. On this side you have the front torso, some of the back, and this tabard with that wicked looking face on it. It looks a little Harlequin-y to me. That's kind of neat. Given that these Ynnari apparently have a connection with all kinds of Eldar, that makes a lot of sense. We have this doohickey, which is just Aeldari ornamentation. It goes on the back. We have this one gauntlet, and you can't tell me that doesn't look like the Avatar of Cain's bloody hand, just without the blood. Here we have another one of those Aeldari decorations. Here we have a shoulder pad, and it has another one of those faces. But that one looks less... it looks less like a Harlequin and more like a Dark Eldar kind of a deal. Another officially called Drukhari, but when I first heard of him, it was Dark Eldar, and so that really stuck. We have this big old Mamma Jamma sword. It looks really cool, and the Aeldari bit's kind of here at the hilt and the grip, and it's got tassels. Tassels are always nice. And we've got a boot. We've got the legs with yet another boot. It's got some nice detail on there, and we've got the kind of the shoulder part of the cloak. All in all, pretty self-contained. A single sprue. If you want to take a closer look at the sprue, I'll put a link to an Imgur account that I maintain to kind of show off sprues that are new or otherwise interesting. So, hey, sorry to interrupt, but I have a quick editor's note. As I was rushing to edit this video so that it's released while it's still relevant, you know, the models are still new, I realized that some of these sprues say 2017, which means they were made a few years ago. Yvraine and the Visarch have those on the model sprues, and I didn't know what was going on because I bought them as new releases or even pre-orders. So I don't know what the deal is. Maybe they're re-releases, or maybe I missed something. Who knows? But they are new to me. As a matter of fact, I took the screenshot of the Games Workshop website where they're still listed as new releases. So, who knows? All right, back to the unboxing. Let's take a look at Yvraine. Yvraine, I'm not sure how you pronounce this, but she looks pretty cool, pretty imposing. And her chest here looks like there's some Avatar of Cain stuff happening. I like the allusions to the bloody-handed god. So this one has this oval base, Looks like she has a pet. That's why there's this oval base. I'm pretty sure that's Cringer in there. Just looking a little blue. So this model has a total of 2 sprues. Well, they're mini sprues, but there's 2 of them anyway. This sprue has an awful lot of cape. Holy moly, what have I done? I am notoriously bad at capes, and this model is basically half cape. Oh my gosh. Okay, so look at this cape. So I'm guessing this is the back part. Look at that texture. That's gonna be super cool to paint. It's like a lace kind of a deal, and it's at the bottom here. There's like a jewelry kind of detail. It's all kinds of flowy. Man, if you're good with capes, this is gonna look really cool. If you're not, it's gonna be a challenge. Here's some more of that cape kind of on the side. Here's like the other side of the cape with some interesting little wrinkles. I hadn't seen that level of detail on capes before, but it's a really nice touch. Here we have a big old chunk of hair. Aeldari like to have ponytails. That's a rule. It's in the codex. We have one slender leg here. And we have part of her torso and the back. This is a very tall, thin character. She has a certain grace about her. I think that's the point. And I don't know if you can see this detail, but it looks like she's wearing sandals. That's an interesting choice for the battlefield, but that's how awesome she is. She doesn't need Sabaton. She goes out in flip-flops and does what she's got to do. Here's her face. This second sprue seems to have kind of just the details or the ornamentation. We've got 2 shoulder pads. They're pretty ornate. It's going to be lots of fun to paint that, and to especially something like this. There's all these little pendants with jewels in them. I'm going to have a really nice time messing up, like getting the jewel color off center, because that's how I roll. We have the headdress, which is a bunch of arrows. That looks really neat. We have the kitty cat here, Cringer. Like I said, I'm pretty sure it's Cringer. I think that's some of Cringer's kind of fur. Here's Cringer's face. It looks kind of like a lynx or a fox or something, but still Cringer. You've got a sword, really nice, really curvy. It kind of doesn't look Eldar. It almost looks like it might be inspired by the Drukhari, but it's really neat nonetheless. You can see the gauntlet on there with some ornamentation. We have this thing, which I guess is like a torso piece, just maybe some added armor, but it's mostly a place where you can do some detailing. That's really neat. We've got Kitty Cat's backside right there, and we have another piece of ornamentation. Looks like it might go in the back of her head, like so that was Yvraine, whatever her name is. Neat. She's in her box now. But before we move on to this next one, Maugan Ra, looks really, really cool. I am curious to know if anyone out there knows why Maugan Ra is in a box and why Yvraine is in a blister pack. I don't know that I understand the rationale why one gets a blister pack and one gets not a blister pack. I'm sure there's a good reason for it, but I'm just curious to know what that might be. At any rate, let's take a look at Maugan Ra. I do have the old metal version of this, and I loved it back then. So I'm looking forward to this. So here is the instruction manual, color, goes back in the box. Looks like a 50-inch. Looks like a 50-inch base, perhaps. and 1 sprue. And there's a lot happening here, actually. So we'll start from right about here. We've got the chest, which is a big old skeleton. Looks pretty skeleton-y to me. We have a gauntlet that's holding on to a weapon. So it's, you know, certainly one of the hands is hanging on to that scythe. I know it has a name. The Mugatar. Here is just some piece of his cloak. I think this is the front part that surrounds his head, so I guess that's technically the hood. Here's some more part of that cloak. It's got some tatters in it. Really cool looking. We've got, oh, look at that imposing skull for a shoulder pad. That is so cool. Look at oh my gosh, the Mugatar is sick. It's so big. And there's a decent amount of Aeldari detail on it as well. That should be kind of cool to paint. Right here we have a kind of a topper for the base. It's like an Eldar ruin with a skeleton of some sort. Looks kind of human. We've got the backpack, or the whatever you want to call this totem, maybe. It goes on his back. It's all skeleton-y, with a skeleton head, a skull, and some top knotted hair. I just realized that in spite of being skeletonized, Maugan Ra still has abs. That makes me feel real bad, bro. Real bad. We have this Sabaton, this foot-leg combo thing. So we've got his back and his kind of cape situation here, which is interesting because the front of this is, you can see his head. It's just like a skeleton head. So he's like a skeleton head inside a cloak. I know that's not actually the case, but that's kind of what it looks like from here. We've got this little like a decoration thing. I think it goes on the weapon, or maybe on his belt. We have the other pauldron. That's a skull face. We've got his other leg on the other part of that Eldar ruin. And one more cape with a little Eldar sigil thing happening here. This thing there's a lot of cape to this. Next up we have the Warlocks. These both look really cool and also very similar to the old metallic Eldar Warlocks that I still have. But maybe there's just more detail. So these guys have 32mm bases, same size as Space Marines, interestingly enough. Their instruction guide, right here. And they are both on a single sprue. That's interesting. So we've got a pair of heads. Oh, actually there's more. There's these two heads. There's another one over here. Oh, the fourth one over here. So you have a selection of heads you could use. Shuriken pistol. Cape, cloak. We have a base topper. Some more. Oh, here's the torso and some of the cloak. We have a couple of legs. More cloak. We have the spear. Really cool looking. We have one of the torsos, another leg topper, some miscellaneous bits. Yeah, that head right there looks pretty neat. It's not just a Spartan feel, it has like Spartan Plus. It's really cool. We have one of the special Aeldari swords, very nice. Some more boots, some decorations. Yeah, it looks fairly straightforward, and it looks like you do have a few options. Maybe not a ton, but at least you can have different kinds of heads, which is nice. Eldar Dark Reavers. These were among my favorite units of the Eldar. The only times I ever got any kills back when I played Warhammer were with the Eldar. With the Eldar Dark Reaper, sorry. So we've got 1.5 sprues. Got a nice instruction guide. We have a very nice sheet of transfers here from the different craft worlds. This kit, we've got 5 28mm bases, and we've got 1 25mm base. This is for that little statue that they come with. So we've got 1.5 sprues, or maybe it's 3 sprues, depending on how you count them. But we've got a couple of the bodies right here. We've got the heads, which look pretty imposing, kind of a death's grin kind of a thing happening for them. The weapons, some of them are here. We have this thing. This is that statue that's kind of on its own base, and I don't really know what that's about. Maybe that's some kind of relic. I've got the codex and I read through it, but I didn't focus on the Dark Reapers. Here we have what looks like an Exarch's head. So it's got the sensor array kind of on the sides, but it does not have a face shield or a face plate. So she's one BA Eldar. We've got here kind of the front and torso with this nice little detail. I guess the magazines are also the heads of the Dark Reaper missile launchers. And here we have the double missile launcher. I think that's for the Exarch. Here we have a few more odds and ends. Helmets, arms, weapons, some decorations. We have that thing. I don't know what is going on there. That's a head. Is that another Exarch? Maybe like a variant? Holy cow, look at that one. That looks grim. Yeah, so I don't know if these are just like heads meant for an Exarch and you have some choices, or if there's some head swapping you could do. Here we have a Dark Reaper's hand clutching a skull. It looks like it's some kind of humanoid skull. It's got a brand of an Eldar rune on it, and they're grabbing it by the top knot. We have an extra little shoulder pad here, this pauldron. It's got a skull for as a theme, kind of reminiscent of Maugan Ra. Finally, we get to the Eldar Guardians. I didn't get the Storm Guardians. Maybe I will, maybe I won't, but for sure I wanted to get these guys because these are much like the plastic Eldar kit that I have now, which came out 20 years ago. It's kind of near and dear to my heart, even though I never really painted that one. It's a shame. Holy cow. Okay, so there's more going on in this box than I expected. So here we have the instruction manual. We have another very nice, very generous transfer sheet. We've got a bag of bases. We have one larger base. This looks to be 50mm or so. This is probably for the support weapon. We'll start here with the support platform, and it looks, wow, it looks much nicer than the one I'm used to seeing, which is ancient. I know, so it may not be all that different from the ones that you're used to seeing, but this has a more sleeker look. There's more details. The platform is actually on two different pieces. There's a top and bottom half. Looks to be like the turret assembly. This is that shield, which has a very nice curve to it. It's, oh my gosh, this is vastly superior to the metal kit that I still have. You know, it's a product of its day, but this is just a joy to look at. Got a couple of weapons here that these go on the support platform. This looks like to be a missile launcher. It's much bigger than the one I have seen. It looks really neat. I don't know what this is. It has like a flattened snout, so this might be like a Eldar plasma or a Melta something. Could be a D cannon. I don't know what the loadout is for these guys. This looks to be a multi-laser or the Eldar equivalent. And this is the shuriken catapult, or the shuriken cannon. It's that big one. And here we have the Eldar, what do you call this? Las cannon. Maybe it's called a bright lance or something like that. It shoots big honking lasers is what this is. On this side of the sprue, we've got a bunch of swords. I don't know why Guardians need swords. These aren't the assault variant. These are the ranged variant. So I'm not sure what's happening here. I mean, if I can equip them, I'll take it for sure. So we've got some pouch, kind of dangly bits, grenades, ammo packs, that sort of thing. Yeah, I'm really not sure what the deal is with all these swords, but I'm willing to find out. This sprue here, we have all the weapons, so we see all the shuriken catapults. Oh, we have what looks like a Melta weapon or something right there. There's two of them. So maybe these guys can take special weapons. That's nice to see. Got a bunch of arms. Bunch more arms. Oh, we have this thing. This is an arm that's holding onto a disc. I don't know if this was... Oh, okay, so it looks like to be like an Eldar version of a drone or a sensor of some sort. It's pretty neat. I've never seen it before. But yeah, these arms look nice and detailed. They should be interesting to paint. Here we have arms with shuriken pistols. Some more shuriken catapults. Some more of those Melta-looking weapons. Yeah, these looks like fusion guns, like what the fire dragons carry. But these right here look different. They have a snout that the fusion guns don't. So maybe there's a redesign to one of the Eldar weapons that I'm used to, and so who knows what this is. But it should be interesting to find out. So this is interesting. I went to the instruction manual to see if I could figure out what it was, what that weapon was. And as it turns out, there's data sheets for both the Guardians and Storm Guardians. Now the box itself is actually just Guardians. There's a completely different box for Storm Guardians. So I don't know if this kit has... Huh. Look at that. So this kit has instructions for the Guardians, and it has instructions for the Storm Guardians variant. So then, I don't know what... I don't know what's in the box when you buy the Storm Guardian box. Man, I should have picked that up just to see what the difference was. Well, we've got a mystery in our hands. I don't know what the deal is, but it kind of looks like you can build both versions of the Guardians from this single box, which is very nice. I'm not complaining about that. I'm just kind of curious to see what's in the Storm Guardians box and why it's different. Okay, I couldn't leave it alone. I was dying to find out what the difference was between this box and the Eldar Storm Guardians box. And the only thing I can find, just by looking at the website, it does not have pictures of sprues. Shame, shame, Games Workshop. But it looks like the difference is in this defense drone, or this support platform. The support platforms for the Guardians defenders, I guess, have this... you can use like las cannons and multi-lasers, whatever it is. And the illustration, or the picture at least, on the Games Workshop website for the Storm Guardians, it only has a defensive shield. Having said that, this support platform also has pieces so you can make the defensive shield. So maybe that's a different kind of shield. I don't know, man. I may just have to get a box of those just to see what the difference. And that's how they get you. Okay, the last sprue for the Aeldari Guardians. Pretty straightforward. I mean, we have a bunch of head, leg. I'm sorry. We have a bunch of leg, torso combinations. The usual kind of halvesies. Couple of legs. Got a nice row of helmets, and just thinking about the version that I have, which is the first plastic version, the details on these heads look a lot sharper than they did on that other kit, so that's nice to see. Another nice thing to see is here are these backs, the back of the torsos, or the backs, and you'll see these little like antenna things. They're actually already part of that torso as opposed to gluing them on. So I don't know if the most previous recent version of this kit, whether they were integrated or not, but that was a bit of a pain in the rear. These things would all snap off. And so this is a nice quality of life improvement. I appreciate that. I don't know how other people are going to feel about it, but that's nice. Got some pistol holsters, some more of those little arrays. We've got some helmetless Aeldari heads, which is a nice. I'm tempted to make them without their helmets, for sure. And here are the fancier Aeldari heads. These are they have the helmets, but they also have those top knots, so maybe that's how you can tell that they're Storm Guardians or what have you. Anyway, that was it. That's the Eldar box, for the Eldar Guardian box. I tell you what, I'm really looking forward to building these and painting them. Maybe not poorly. That would be a nice change of pace, wouldn't it? Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this unboxing. There's lots of cool Eldar stuff. Let's see if all the belly aching from Games Workshop fans finally turns out to be true. There's never any new Xenos. Well, now there's new Xenos. Anyone going to buy these? I hope so. They look really cool. Thank you for watching. Be nice to yourselves and each other. Peace. Isn't New Mini Day a joy?